Good afternoon, everyone. And this is Al Hines, the administrator for the PGRHL Hockey League. I want to thank you for taking the time to review this information. This video and the screen share that you see here will be available for you to review again at any time during the 4 and 4 program. And this will help everyone follow the rules and protocols that we are required to abide by. We are all responsible for the safety of everyone involved, and our compliance with these measures will be the cornerstone of getting our league and other leagues and arenas users back up and running as close to normal as possible. Non-compliance by our group or any other group that results in an outbreak would likely result in the end of any future opportunities during the COVID emergency. One or two irresponsible participants in any of the sports or user groups could cause the city or even the province to order the arenas closed. We've asked that all the players and officials, if they don't feel they can abide by these rules, that they do not participate in the 4 and 4 program. I wanted to start by going over some of the information that's available here on the screen share, and there's some additional information below that you will have emailed to you and will be available on the homepage of the website for review at any time. But for the purpose of today's information, I just want to go through some of this with you and then let you review the rest on your own. So the information here included here is subject to change at any time, either as directed by the Provincial Health Office, via Sport, Hockey Canada, the City of Prince George, and or at the direction from the executive of the Prince George Recreational Hockey League. Let's talk about the compensation. For the 4 and 4 program, which is 1 hour games, we are going to be compensating the referees at $25 per game, and the timekeepers at $15 per game. This ends up being a little bit less per hour than you would have earned at a 1.5 hour game at $34. And again, we really appreciate everyone who's able to help us through this first month of operations. And we intend to get your compensation and everything back to as normal as possible when we get to the middle of November, and hopefully are able to return to a 5-on-5 structure of play with regular rec hockey as close as possible. So you'll need to register. We have a new website this year, and you'll be directed to that when I get a hold of you, either by text or by email. And you'll go online, and one of the things you'll be doing right now is, because you're online, is watching this video before you can register. And you'll be asked to review and agree to the conditions and protocols that we have for everyone, both players and officials, that they must agree to. Waivers, there's a printable waiver that will be available on the homepage. You will have to sign. Simply put, this waiver releases the Prince George Recreational Hockey League, the City of Prince George, the Province of British Columbia, and any other possible litigants from any responsibility should you contract COVID-19 while refereeing or officiating in any of our programs that we'll be offering this year. Pre-game health check requirement. This is a form that you'll go through as explained here every night before you go to the arena and fill out and complete. And the requirement of this is just to make sure that nobody goes to the rink if they're not well, and we don't spread the virus through somebody making a mistake like that. The health check requirement is an absolute requirement. And so if you go to a game and officiate without completing this requirement, we'll be checking on it, and it goes to a spreadsheet. It's time stamped, date stamped, and you won't be paid for any games you do that. And if you do it more than once, you won't be able to officiate, because this is an absolute requirement of via Sport and provincial health guidelines. So I hope everyone can appreciate how important this is and make sure that they take care of this before they go to the rink each night. Replacement procedure. If you cannot officiate a game, you have agreed to officiate for any reason, you must contact League Admin. And here's my text number, and which you probably already have, and Rob Connolly as well, just to make sure that we have a double two people that are aware that you're not going to be there that night, because this could occur because you don't feel well or you failed a health check only a short period of time before your game, and that gives us, if there's both myself and Rob are on it, we'll have a better chance of finding someone to replace you. You cannot ask someone else to replace you during the 4 and 4 component of this, only because we need to manage where referees are within the cohorts. And so we have to be the ones to make any replacements. And it could result in games where there's only a single official. I didn't really address this in compensation. If you do a game by yourself, you'll be paid for both positions, so it'd be $50 to be by yourself. Mask requirement. In order to use the official dressing rooms, you're required to wear a mask inside the dressing room. And we really, really want to encourage people to don their masks outside before entering the building. We'll talk about this here. Officials and timekeepers shall arrive and enter the arena exactly 15 minutes before the start of their first game with the teams. And this is important because the doors are locked and the REC attendants will let you in, but they're not going to hang around to let stragglers in. So you need to be there, ready to go in. The teams will be lined up at the entrances that are designated. And again, this is where face masks are so important, especially if you want to rep outside of one cohort. You cannot come into close contact with anybody from any of the players or other officials even that maybe do not wish to rep outside of a cohort if you are planning to do that. So the face masks protect you and us from that and allow you to ref in more than one cohort. So this is absolutely critical. So your mask goes on when you enter the arena, you keep it on while you're in the ref's room, you wear it out onto the ice, and then then hopefully you can, if you're wearing a gaiter, you pull it down over your neck. If it's a mask, you remove it in a way that you can get back to it if you need it for dropping the puck. We have ordered gaiters for everyone, and they'll be supplied to you free when they come in, but for the first week at least, we won't have those for you. And they're a double-walled gaiter that you can wear or not wear. If you're more comfortable with a mask, to wear a mask. Whenever you drop the puck, you have to have a mask on. Other than that, during the regular reffing, if you're comfortable, you don't need to wear a mask as long as you do not break the social distancing guidelines. Timing of the games, you have to go on the ice on time. There's very short warm up. We need you there to get things moving. So the team rep is responsible. Make sure you help the team reps get over to the timekeeper and confirm their lineups. In the games, we timed 5-minute warm up and then get it going as quickly as you can when the horn blows. The first period is 25 minutes and then the teams change ends. Second period is 25 minutes with the last 5 minutes stop time. We may review this rule if we're running over time because we cannot go over time during the 4 and 4. We have to be on and off in an hour. So we are hoping that if it is starting to run a little bit too long, the timekeeper will override that and just run the clock straight time to the end of the game. At the end of the game, the teams will be instructed on this, but they must gather all their belongings and exit the ice as quickly as possible. At the end of the game, careful not to bunch up and maintain as much distance as possible, no handshakes. And as you will see in the officiating points of focus when you review those on your own, those one team should be held back and they will exit the ice after the other team is completely exited so that there's a minimum amount of bunching up and especially any kind of interaction with each other when they're not wearing masks. Even team members themselves should be social distancing as much as possible when they're leaving the ice. So remind the teams if you can, at the end of each game, ask one team to wait and just for a couple of seconds and get the other team moving off the ice, and then we slowly kind of distance ourselves and move off the ice and into the dressing rooms. The following information are points of focus that were released by Hockey Canada. Some of these are relevant to what we're doing and some of them are not relevant and could be superseded by the information that's in our code of conduct, our rules, and our protocols, which you will be reviewing when you register. And we'll review just briefly right now. So there's more above this, but I'm just going to focus on governing of play right now real quick with you. So all CHA rules, the same rules we use for the PGRHL Hockey League, other than where there is additional rules here. So the PGRHL league rules exclusive to the fall program. So 0 tolerance for aggressive play. That should be pretty obvious. We've strengthened the punishment for aggressive penalty points, non-aggressive minor players, minor penalties, non-fighting major penalties, fighting major penalties. You can review all these yourselves. You need to very carefully review how we're going to handle these minor penalties and what the ramifications of getting more than one are. So 2 aggressive minor penalties and you're ejected from a game, and a player that gets 3 aggressive minor play, any 3 minor penalties during a game will be ejected from the game. So this is almost like a gentleman's rule. And then we'll be monitoring those for accumulations and suspending players based on those situations. Intentional body contact. Intentional body contact is unavoidable. That is unavoidable and accidental could occur, but it is expected that every effort is made to avoid any direct body contact of any kind. And if a player makes any type of intentional body contact, that will be assessed as an aggressive minor penalty or double aggressive and ejection from the game, or a major penalty depending on the severity and intent of the contact. So that's going to be a referee's decision at the game, but it's pretty obvious we're asking for no contact at all. So intentional contact can escalate things. So we want you to call that very, very, very closely. Scrums and gatherings are not permitted. Face washing or pushing and shoving will result in timid misconduct and a single aggressive minor for roughing, or can be assessed at the referee's discretion as a double minor for roughing and a game ejection, because that double minor for roughing would be 2 aggressive minors and they'd be ejected from the game. So I want to talk about protecting the goaltenders and the goal crease violations. And this is similar to what you'll see in the points of focus document that was released by Hockey Canada, but this is how we want it interpreted. So an attacking player may not enter the goal crease for any reason, including to pursue the puck. So once a puck is in there, the attacking player may not go in after the puck if the goal, even if the goalie hasn't got it covered. Now you can use some discretion with that. And if an attacking player deliberately stands in the crease without interfering with the goaltender, the referee should stop play and the ensuing faceoff shall take place in the nearest faceoff spot in the neutral zone. Talking about protecting the officials, we expect players to give you as much room as possible when you're dropping the puck. So if guys are bent over grabbing the bottom of the sticks and they're not giving you room to get in there and drop the puck, and you should be standing straight up when you drop the puck to keep yourself as safe as possible. We understand this doesn't always allow for the best drop, but it is important for your safety. So that's the way this will be handled during the 4-on-4 play. Any players, when they enter the face-off area, are not giving you enough room, just wave them out. And we want face-offs done as quickly as possible. And we have 1-hour games here. We want to have guys to have as much time as possible to play in the game. We had considered actually not having face-offs, but we want to go with them for now, and we'll see how what the feedback is from all of you as we proceed through this into November. So this is the team's updated information that was released by VIA Sport and Hockey BC on September 25th. So we're going to allow teams to register their rosters to be up to 15 skaters and 2 goalies, but only 12 skaters and a goalie can participate in any event. So a team may not have over 12 skaters and no more than 1 goalie at the game. And this is non-negotiable. Even if the other team has only 6 people, an individual team may not be made up of more than 12 and 1. Okay, so you guys are required to enforce that. Teams know this. They shouldn't even try to pull it, but who knows, right? All the spare player policies and stuff we'll be monitoring. If there's some question about it, we can, I want you to review this anyways, and you know, you can check with the teams. The team should be identifying all spare players with the timekeeper, but all spare players that are allowed within a cohort will be registered somewhere. Now, I don't know if we probably will add them to team rosters that exist. So the first team they go out and spare for is where they'd be registered. And if this is a player that's just a spare, we may allow them to expand their rosters past the registration to 15 to allow for these spare players a spot to be registered and then play for any of the teams within the cohort. And players are not allowed to play in two cohorts ever at all, no matter what. So if you were to see Al Hines out there playing for the Kings one night, and the next night I'm out trying to play for the Rhinos in the A division, you would send me home and let the league admin know that this has occurred. because everybody's instructed that they can't play more than one cohort. So thank you for taking the time to review this. Go ahead and register now, and we'll be in touch over the course of this program.